And a happy What the Hell Everything Day. A lot of stuff on the podcast today. Before I get to that, remember the Patreon page. All kinds of stuff, extra stuff, talk practice, extra views, reactions, behind the scenes, and a lot of cool stuff on the way as well, including Smith's Favorite Things. A retrospective documentary series is coming back soon. Patreon.com/we3Smiths. $3 a month. That's it. And also, that's how I fund my 5-year plan. Check it out, patreon.com/we3Smiths. What the hell, everything. What the hell, everything? And welcome to the What the Hell Everything podcast. My name is Smitty. Recording date is National Hot Dog Day. Holy shit. I'm probably going to miss out on that, though, because I'm all doing the healthy kick now. Plus, I'm closing tonight at my new gig, Fresh Coast Beer Works in Traverse City. But it was, now here's the thing, National Hot Dog Day. I actually did consider, when I get out of work at 11 or whatever it is tonight, I've really stopped doing the gas station cheeseburger thing, thankfully. I'm embarrassed to admit, like, it was a real thing for a long time, especially when I was bartending previously and getting out of work at fucking midnight or whatever. Nothing's open. I'm not going to cook. I get a fucking gas station cheeseburger, just another nugget in the downfall of my health, which is coming back with a vengeance, by the way. All of like the smoothies and the eating like a freaking, not like a rabbit, but I'm not eating the way it was. It's mostly plant-based. I'm still eating burgers occasionally, but it's mostly like hummus and smoothies and things like that, with a lot of water and a lot of exercise, a lot of exercise for me. Let's put it that way. But I'm doing better every day. But I still have these fucking moments where it's late at night usually when I get out of work, and I'm like, well, I want to eat something, and I just feel like I want. It's always got to be two, by the way. That's like a fat guy thing, at least for just me. Probably not. Right? It's got to be two. I'm gonna get 2 cheeseburgers from McDonald's. I'm gonna eat 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like a fucking asshole. So I'm what do they say? You got to make new habits, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making new habits, and but I still have the fat guy moments, like the other day. It was National Ice Cream Day. Like I said, today's National Hot Dog Day. National Ice Cream Day was a few ago, and Brother Levi brought home some, of course, some Cocoa Pebbles ice cream. Now, he did say, because he is on a similar path, and although he is fucking blowing me out of the water, he's been on the same path that I'm on now for at least a year. Now, Levi has, and I want to say he is under 200 pounds for the first time since probably pre-fucking high school graduation, since teenage years. Like, our whole family's just battled with, that for years and years and years. But, God, he's fucking killing it. But motherfucker brought ice cream home, Cocoa Pebbles ice cream, I might add. And he had some, and he goes, did you have any of that Cocoa Pebbles ice cream yet? And I said, no. He says, all right, well, look, it wasn't that good. And essentially, the argument was something like this: I don't recommend you have it because it wasn't worth the cheat, in other words. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna fucking cheat, you might as well do it with something awesome. And if you have your cheat day ruined by some substandard fucking ice cream, it's not really worth it. But I didn't fucking listen to him. I'm like, well, it's nighttime at 10 o'clock and I'm watching the NBA Finals. I might as well eat some fucking ice cream. And sure as shit, that was not that great. And he tried to warn me, Fat guy didn't listen. Fat guy has regret. If I can get out of it today without going to the gas station for a gas station hot dog, I'll be fucking... Woo! We'll call that a win. I talked about this previously on a previous podcast, talking about electric vehicles. It was a really interesting article about the new sign that's going to take over America, the new road sign that's going to take over America, because we're going electric. It's really happening now. For years and years and years, we're starting out, we had hybrid vehicles, and the battery's going to last, and just like everything, like VCRs were $800 when they first fucking came out. They didn't have the electric cars perfected, and they probably still don't. But it's getting cheaper, it's getting more efficient as the technology gets better. So the sign that's going to take over America is going to really make some people fucking upset. Oh, man. Goddamn hippies and their blue electric car signs. It's a sign. The sign itself is an e-ink display. It's like a Kindle on a stick. It means that the sign can be continuously updated, reads well on the sunlight, uses so little power that it basically runs on solar energy. And it's essentially like all these charging stations are the new thing around the United States. So that's the new sign that's going to take over. And I'm sure those will be victims of many cases of vandalism around the country. But that's going to make so many people upset about those goddamn hippies. And I just like that. Next, I want to talk about WhatsApp. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, I don't know what it is either. But here's what I do know about WhatsApp. It's an app that, I have Facebook. I have 2 Facebook pages. I have the Smitty page. I have the We Three Smiths page. I have an Instagram page as well. And there was a time because Facebook suggested it, hey, why don't you just link your Facebook pages and your Instagram pages together, and they'll all work together. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. It sounds really efficient and cuts down on my fucking workload. So I did that, and I'm like, well, this is terrible because, the way it was, Facebook just all of a sudden just stopped letting people see my shit, okay? And most creators or anybody that does anything on the internet feels the same way about Facebook. These motherfuckers are terrible. But you're like, oh, cool. I get linked with Instagram. It'll be way easier. But what was happening, I wasn't getting any, like if I would post a photo on Facebook, it wouldn't even show people that anymore. All of the love would be on Instagram. So it wasn't even really working. And then Facebook started suggesting, hey, get WhatsApp and it'll connect your Instagram with your Facebook. And I can't even really remember. I think I tried to look up what WhatsApp was. And thankfully I didn't, because the whole point of this story was WhatsApp, just long-winded fucking way around that. WhatsApp just blocked 2 million accounts for breaking tough new rules. Whatever their strict new bullshit fucking internet rules are, they just blocked 2 million accounts, okay? I'm sure it was something fucking garbage. That being said, when they started suggesting WhatsApp, and the way it does, it just pops right up on your screen and you can't do anything until you go yes or no. And it just kept doing that. So I said, fuck you. I disconnected it from Instagram. Whatever. The sooner I can be off Facebook, the better. Patreon.com/we3smiths. That being said, fuck WhatsApp, and I hope they go bankrupt. I hope they go bankrupt, and the fucking owner of that company, I almost said I wish he dies, but that's not true. Things you say in the heat of the moment aren't always true. I feel like this is true, though. This is the next story. And it could be the worst thing ever. It's the new worst thing ever. It's kids getting used to shootings. Apparently there was a shooting at Nationals Park the other day, and here's the thing. I must be fucking guilty of the whole desensitized, and I just can't take it anymore, where I followed all this stuff for the longest time, and it becomes too much, and you got to fucking detach. But I remember, I'm not good at talking about things like this, because when the elementary school shooting, why the fuck can't I remember that? And it's not a hoax. If anybody says that, you're a fucking asshole, and you're the same people that does laugh emojis, laugh reactions on serious shit. Anyway, Nationals Park shooting. Ferris Nunn is 8 years old, and shootings are just everyday run-of-the-mill shit.
I just saw people looking that way, and I didn't know what was going on until I heard someone say get down, so I just started going under the seats.
Oh my gosh, how are you feeling?
It was my second shooting, so I was kind of prepared, because I always am expecting something to happen. I just saw people looking that way, and I didn't know what was going on until I heard someone say get down, so I just started going under the seats.
Oh my gosh, how are you feeling?
It was my second shooting, so
Man,
I was kind of prepared, because I always am expecting something to happen.
That's easily the newest worst thing ever. Now I go back and forth on this because on the one hand, I don't have kids, but I love kids. There was a time in my life I wanted to have kids. I have nephews and nieces that I love. I'm not anti-child as much as I might suggest otherwise. But I go back and forth where you want to protect your kids, and that's awful shit for them to see and experience. Yes, that's true. But I also go with that we need to prepare kids for the experiences of shitty life and get them ready for it. That way they're ready for it. I think I just said that. Redundant like a motherfucker. But so I go back and forth on that. But, man, I don't do well with that. When that elementary school shooting shit happened, man, I tried talking about it on the air on the afternoon show because it was happening as the show was going on. And I lost it in the middle of the show, and I say, well, I'm never going to talk about this shit again. So I don't know if it's just I need to detach or if it's I'm getting too used to it. Either way, it fucking sucks, and I can't wait until we get better. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but things like this give me hope. Next story. White evangelicism declines while those who no longer identify as religious rise. That is fan-fucking-tastic. That makes me happy. 14% of Americans identify as white evangelical compared to 2006 when it was 23%. There's a big, long story about what it could be causing this and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go with it is finally people going, oh, man, people are full of shit. It's so easily, transparently stupid that, I'm out. Peace out, bitch. I have this story from metro.com or .co.uk. And it signs you're old according to millennials. Which, by the way, I think millennials at this point are just a biscuit younger than Gen Xers. I don't even know what Gen X goes to. Signs you're old according to millennials. We'll get into that. The millennial generation is said to be between 25 and 40 years old right now, so no longer spring chickens, with Gen Z setting the trends. Who writes these fucking things? Who reads them? Me. Using cash. 28% of millennials say that makes you old. I think that's hilarious. It's actually a really funny list of 20 items. Number one, actually tied for number one at 28%, putting a hanky up your sleeve, which, by the way, who the fuck puts a hanky in your sleeve? The hanky is for this pocket or the back pocket or a front pocket. Also, there's no use for a hanky. Coming from somebody with terrible congestion problems, just buy some fucking Kleenex. Stop walking around with a snot rag in your pocket. Looking at you, Dad. Next, number three, getting bills through the post. The mail. This is the fucking the UK. Through the post. I better start learning how to talk like this, even though I'm going to Ireland and not the fucking UK. Even though I'm going to Northern Ireland, and that kind of counts too as the UK. Anyway, writing lists with pen and paper. Guilty. Smoking is 23% at number 5. Ha! Quit. Number 7, describing a tune as bangin'. That's fucking funny, because I always thought that was for people way younger than me. Next, tied at number 7, ringing for a taxi instead of like Lyft or Uber. Which, by the way, I'm in Traverse City, Northern Michigan, beautiful area. I was talking to somebody at the bar the other day about Uber and Lyft shit in Traverse City, and it was like, none of them are reliable. You go to get an Uber, and we're like, nobody's available for like 3 hours. A Lyft or something. Cab services, nothing is fucking reliable. And I don't know if it's because of the, staffing problems or people aren't working. Who knows? I try not to guess. But it could be also, I was talking to somebody and actually talking about it with Ira on the Friday Night Live podcast, that with Uber and shit like that, you can kind of see who is asking for the ride, and people get rated by drivers and shit. So if it's somebody with a shitty fucking Uber rating, I think drivers could turn it down. That could be a problem too. Who knows? Just don't be a dick to your fucking driver, and that'll probably help. But continuing this list of signs you're old according to millennials. Watching actual TV, voting. What is voting leave? Taking time off to vote? I don't know what that is. Still being on Facebook, guilty. Fuck, I wish I could get off of that. Reading books, I don't do it enough. Actually, that's something we should bring back. Can we bring back books? That might help everything. Going to church, talking on the phone. Don't ever call me. Wearing skinny jeans. Using a camera, like a real camera, not a phone, right? Skinny jeans are for idiots anyway. Dating in real life, so not like an app. Not having pronouns in your Instagram bio. Oh, I understand that. I'm just not hip with it, and it must make me old. Using a sat nav? Is that a fucking, is that like a map app? I think it's a map app, right? UK. And then eating dairy, 9%. You must be old if you eat cheese. Fuck off. Millennials don't know shit. This is Malaysian authorities destroying Bitcoin miners, essentially computers. I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to cryptocurrency. I have no goddamn idea how this stuff works. I'm just now realizing, oh, it's not like people. You have to use computers to mine cryptocurrency. Duh. That is actually kind of fascinating. All these Bitcoin miners got destroyed by Malaysian authorities. Why? I can tell you in a hot second after I pull this video down. Man, there you go. I learned a little bit today. The authorities in Malaysia seized just about 1,100 Bitcoin rigs, mining rigs, laid them out in the parking lot and killed them. They say that miners allegedly stole $2 million worth of electricity siphoned from power lines in Malaysia. I don't know how any of this fucking shit works, but I can tell you I'm going to try to learn in the most hilariously stupid way possible coming up. You want to listen for this. Friday Night Live on YouTube. We typically do Friday Night Live on Facebook, my What the Hell Everything Friday Night Live Facebook on, but we're doing it on YouTube because I kind of worry about Facebook kicking us off for this one. When I say us, me, smoking my first bong while trying to understand cryptocurrency, along with Jason Sled Dog Sledder in studio, Josh Thomas, good friends, drinking beer, hitting my first bong, and then have somebody try to explain cryptocurrency to me somehow, some way. I don't know how the fuck this is going to work. I know it's kind of a bad, great idea. I do believe Matt Hayes is going to be in studio, also from the band Crony, along with Jason Sled Dog Sledder, going to play and preview a couple new tunes from Crony. And it's going to be YouTube Live Friday night, where I'm going to get really fucking high. I'm probably not going to understand any of this fucking Bitcoin shit. But you know what? I think it sounds fun and kind of funny. Haha. And that's what wins usually. What also makes me happy is macaques. Specifically in India, Madhya Pradesh, India this week, where monkeys just broke in, started getting hammered. I don't know if this was the same area of India during COVID where I had all these monkey stories that I was talking about on the morning show. And nobody's in town because everybody's stuck at home during the pandemic, so monkeys overtook this town and just fucked everything up. They were camping out in the theater like gremlins. And I don't know if this is the same area, but monkeys just getting hammered. At some point, they may take over. They may not like how it happens in the movies, but you never know. You never know, honey. Hey, see if you can say this I can't even say that one time fast. See if you can say this 3 times fast. Pervy public pickle packing, pervy public pickle packing, pervy public pickle packing. This fucking guy, who, by the way, has the glitteriest eyebrows I've ever seen in my fucking life. Eric Detiege in Florida, fucking of course, thanks Smoking Gun for that photo, by the way, was nailed by, and when I say nailed, did not mean that tongue-in-cheek, arrested in March by cops responding to a suspicious person call when he was found pantless, lying on his back, and with a large uneaten pickle in his hand that he was using to penetrate his rectum while he was masturbating. Which, you know, hey, whatever your thing is, you really didn't do anything wrong other than, you know, it was in the public. If you want to put pickles in your ass, just stay home. Chalk this one up to called it. Anytime there is anybody that has anything resembling the profession of snake charmer or anything like that, you know how they're going to die. In the Philippines, 62-year-old Bernardo Alvarez was a snake handler, cobra guy. I don't know, man. He got bit on the tongue by a cobra when he tried to kiss it and fucking died. Duh. You know that shit's gonna happen. If people are shocked and like devastated when somebody who does some shit like that dies, it's like any sort of dangerous profession. Yeah, I guess it's sad. But you saw that one coming a mile away. This story out of Australia is a really good example of like how much consent means in any sort of crime. Like if you give somebody permission to fuck you up, like how much they should be able to get away with it. I asked this person to cut off my balls, and they cut my balls off. Like, what part of that is not their problem? I don't know. They paid me money to cut their balls off. This fucking story out of Australia, a man who cut off the testicles of two men in a backyard surgery designed to make them eunuchs has been released from custody. Look, there's all kinds of fucking terrible details on this story. The main detail is that a couple guys got their balls cut off when they asked somebody and paid them around $1,000 Australian cash to make them eunuchs. They wanted it, he did it, and he got fucking arrested, obviously, because it's against the law. But at what point does consent mean anything? Because I feel like that's something you thought about for a while, you know? I want to cut this off. Thought about it. You know, the fucking real medical thing's too expensive, too much of a process. Do you think you just cut my balls off? Like, hey, I can't believe how fucking surprised I was at this story, because once I read it, I was like, of course Iran is going to use our military targets and catfish them to make them think they're talking to women. Of course. I've done 420 breaks and talked about all sorts of dudes online that are just super creepy, and you need to stop. Okay? It's terrible. You accept friend requests thinking you're going to get fucking laid. Knock it off, because you get nailed like this. If you're a member of the U.S. military who's gotten friendly Facebook messages from private sector recruiters for months on end suggesting a lucrative future in the aerospace or defense contractor industry, it's probably Iranian spies. And they're also catfishing, making soldiers think that they're talking to some chick. Who'd have thought that catfishing would be our downfall? That's how they're going to infiltrate. Catfishing. I see a lot of talk lately about billionaires and all the things billionaires are doing. They're going to space and they have too much money. There's probably some truth to that. But you know what? I love the idea of having, first of all, let me just put it this way. If I had a fucking Jeff Bezos style money, I was a billionaire, and people say, what would you do with your money? First of all, whatever the fuck I want. I might buy a mountain, like in this fucking story, in Zaxton, Switzerland, for the low, low price of $235,000. In a heartbeat, I would buy that mountain. Buying a mountain, that's the thing, where somebody would say, that guy's a billionaire and he bought a mountain. Fucking A, I did. I don't have a problem with people making money. That's the thing. Do people make too much money? Probably. Some people have too much power? Probably. They should pay more taxes? Probably. But there's nothing wrong with buying your own mountain, because god damn it, I'll sure as shit try. Let's talk more shit about Bill Cosby. Why? Because he fucking deserves it. He believes he deserves compensation time for the time he spent in prison. And he's probably right from a legal standpoint, you know? I don't know. I've always said that, and I read stories all the time about people being wrongly convicted. They spent fucking 20 years in prison, then, DNA said they didn't do it. And they get out and sue the fuck out of whoever, rightfully so. Bill Cosby believes he deserves compensation for his 3 years in jail. And again, legally, yeah, but god damn it, the very idea that he gets out on that bullshit technicality, and if somebody has to pay up, as they say in the story, according to his representative, Andrew Wyatt, who sounds like a fucking dickhead, he's due millions and millions of dollars, as Mr. Cosby said to me today. Man, can that fucking guy, I know I don't want people to die necessarily when I had these things in my head, but if that guy died, that would just make everything better. If fucking Bill Cosby just died, pay fucking millions of dollars. Ew. The latest stupid thing I've heard in a long time out of Australia where there's a fuck ton of shark attacks, not interactions, mind you. When I say fuck ton, I don't know the numbers. I know what happens, though, okay? As I said on the last shark attack I talked about on the What the Hell Everything podcast, it's like, yeah, you're right. When people say an advocate's for sharks, which I'm an advocate for wildlife in general, but I don't go where the animals that might fuck me up are. I have no interest in going in the ocean. You can say that sharks, by and large, aren't attracted to people and they don't want to eat people. They want to eat fucking meat. Let's not mix that up. I don't think they'd be terribly choosy if a bunch of humans were in the middle of the ocean, like the USS Indianapolis or anything like that. There's people that actually want to change the language. Like, I don't know if you remember the George Carlin soft language bit, when he's like, everything is, instead of shell shock, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Instead of this, it's something to make it sound more pleasant. They want to change the name of shark attacks to shark interactions. It is the most ridiculous thing. Right up there with Apple removing 69 from its weather app. They're shark attacks. I don't care if they're just taking a nibble. They're shark attacks. Fuck off. Hey, remember earlier I said I had the newest, most terrible thing? Check that. This is the most terrible thing ever. An incredibly toxic lake will become one of the first U.S. lithium mines. Oh, boy. Like, I'm not a hippie, but I use common sense. I can see what's going on around me. Cause and effect is very easy to see if you're looking at the right things. Where many experts believe that in order to have any hope of staving off climate change, we have to have electric cars. Essentially, the lithium-ion batteries are a key to this. Global demand is expected to increase up to 18 times over the next several years, but you need lithium. And the overwhelming majority of lithium in batteries comes from Australia, Chile, China, and Argentina. The American Southwest has a bunch of huge storages of lithium as well. So GM is hoping that there could be a CTR mine, which I guess is a lithium mine, in the Salton Sea. I don't even know where that is. But what essentially this is going to cause is where these lithium mines are could potentially create toxic lakes. And I'm just like, oh man, that part's awesome. There's got to be a better way to do it, but who knows what it is. It's probably similar to how coal fucks you up, but we needed that for a while. Now we're going electric, and what would be a good example of how gas and oil are fucking everything up now? Just look around. Everything is going to kill us. I only brought this story up to ask one question. Now the story is, out of Lombard, Illinois, theft of an $8,000 puppy is caught on camera at the Illinois Mall. The only question is, it's not even really a question. If you spend $8,000 on a dog, you're a fucking dickhead. What's the most amount of money you would spend on a dog? I mean, the only amount of money I've ever spent on a dog to get a dog are the adoption fees that and the vet fees that came with it. $8,000 on a dog. You want to talk about pretentious bullshit? Man, oh man. $8,000. Man, I don't even know if I would spend hundreds on a dog. It's like the milkshake scene in Pulp Fiction. Better be a pretty goddamn good fucking dog. Finally, on the what the hell? Not finally, because you got a 420 break coming up in a hot second. But out of El Salvador, and it has to be one of the weirdest fucking stories I've ever seen in my life. A mysterious ruined villa that had disappeared was recently discovered. Yeah, fucking crazy. Nobody knows how the home ended up on the beach, but it seems to have been there for a while. Had all sorts of graffiti on it. I guess like 28 years ago, this is the big theory, that 28 years ago, the villa was actually a hotel called Hotel Puerto Ventura. And the owners decided to build it like, I don't know, just a couple feet from the beach, which made it really vulnerable to the elements. A hurricane came through, Hurricane Mitch maybe, It hit El Salvador in 1998, causing extensive damage, over 9,000 fatalities, and they think this fucking villa was just carried along in the middle and just fucking floating around in the ocean for 20-something years. It's concrete. I don't know how that works. Like, I'm not an engineer. I'm not that smart, clearly. But that's, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's portals or other dimensions, but I watched a lot of fucking Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, which does not make me an expert and probably makes me extra stupid, but fuck that. That's a portal. That's other dimensions. Just a fucking building just shows up out of nowhere. And clearly, time for your 420 break.
Should I be getting paid for this, boys? Water bomb so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting. Till it's too late. I am fucked up out here.
You know what gets me more and more as I get older? The statement, our values. Our values. It's usually thrown in as a go-to comment by politicians or politician worshippers as they're pushing back against some sort of progress. Example, I live in this beautiful region of northern Michigan, and you usually hear something like this, usually anytime during election season, which admit it, election season is pretty much all the fucking time now, right? Anyway, during election season, you usually hear something like this on political ads. This fuckface candidate does not reflect our northern Michigan values. Shut the fuck up. How did my values become different than yours? I grew up in northern Michigan too, dickhead. We're essentially the same people from the same region and the same upbringing. Dirt poor in rural northern Michigan in the middle of the woods. Usually, clinging on to values really just means you're afraid of change. That's it. Here's another one. You hear this one when somebody is showing their disdain for people that don't believe in God. Where do atheists get their values from if they don't come from God? Fuck off! I get my values from my parents and people close to me that I look up to and want to emulate. That's where you get your values from people I wanted to be like my whole life. Trust me, almost none of you motherfuckers are emulating Jesus, okay? Stop thinking your way is the only way. There's billions of people that have different values. Plus, you don't think the human brain could come up with ideas like common courtesy and common decency all on our own? We might be glorified chimps, but we still come up with things like music and literature and science and fucking space travel. So we can come up with basic ideas like, hey, I don't really want anybody to fuck my wife, so we'll make that a rule, okay? See how easy that is? Values schmalues. That's your 420 break, and now you feel normal. That was a super fun What the Hell Everything podcast. I want to thank you for joining me, and remember to hit up the Patreon page, patreon.com/we3Smiths. If you dig the content here on the YouTube page or on Spotify, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. As always,
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, alright, I'll see you guys there. By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much! Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
what the hell, everything?